Today, I'll be walking you through how I plan my finances for the year. I'll be going from the basics to the less obvious things that you could do. So grab your pen and paper and stay through till the end because you'll learn a lot. My name is Ola, and on this channel, I basically explain investing and the economy in a way that you'll understand and effectively put your finances together. So if you're looking to improve your personal finance game, then this channel is for you. So the first thing that I do in planning my finances for a new year is that I review my income and expenditure. And that's very easy. How much did you earn during the year? What were your streams of income? What are the things that brought in money for you? And then I also review my expenses. What were the major cost drivers during the year? What were the things that took the most money for me? Of course, logically, if your income is more than your expenses, then you saved. But if your expenses are more than your income, then you're either in debt or you spent money that you had saved up previously. Then the next thing I do is very, very important. I calculate my net worth. What's your net worth? Your net worth is basically your total assets, all that you own minus all that you owe. So basically, I list out my assets. By the way, if you don't know what all these things are, there's a playlist on investing your money. You can check them out, and the different asset classes and asset investment options were mentioned in those videos. Now, so we have mutual funds. We could also have like your car. Now, I put car here for anything that you've actually invested money in that that you use and you draw value from. Now, the thing about a car is if you're putting the value for your car, don't put the amount you spent on the car. So for example, you bought a brand new car for $20,000, and then right now, second-hand value for that car, if you were to sell that car, is about 12K. The value you will put will be 12K, right? So don't benchmark against the amount you spent. Benchmark against the actual value of that car, meaning that if you were stuck and the option was for you to sell your car, how much would you get from it? That's the amount that you put there. So we'll go on with car. You can have stocks. And then for each of them, of course, you put your values. You put the values. So what this also helps you do is to know if, for example, you have stocks, how are your stocks doing? The fixed deposit you have, how much has accrued so far. Now then go into your liabilities, right? If you have, let's look at, okay, so against your real estate to be your mortgage, right? Now remember, if for example, you took $1 million to get a mortgage, and you bought land with it or you bought a property, right? And you took a loan for it. So the amount that will be due for the mortgage will be the full amount. But if the value has gone down, then you would know that your value on the other side will be less. So that would eat into your net worth. You get what I mean? Other types of debts that you could have could be personal loans. You could also have your car loan. So something you need to be conscious of when it comes to debt is that if you borrow money for something, whether or not the value of that thing goes up or down, your obligation still remains the same. What do I mean? If you take a 10 million naira loan to get a car, and then you drive out of the car dealership and the value of that car automatically drops to 7 million, you still owe 10 million naira. So every time you take a loan to do anything, be sure that that thing is going to draw you value. Be sure that thing has the potential to increase in value. If not, you are actually eating into your future earnings. So after you've added your assets and added your liabilities, the difference between your assets and your liabilities is your net worth. So that is your financial standing as at today. So the next thing that I do is I ask myself, where do I want to be in a year's time? And in doing that, I set logical but audacious goals, right? So what I do is that I pick up each of the assets and I say, okay, what do I want to have in terms of my cash balance? Where do I want to do anything in real estate? I would set all those goals and say, okay, what kind of money do I think I need to be putting in those things? So the next thing that I look at is how do I increase my assets? Because that is the goal, increasing my assets. Where am I today? I figured that out. Where do I want to go to? And so what do I need to do what will convert my goal into a reality. And it's a mix of two things. One is upskill so you can get a promotion at work if possible. Another thing is upskill so you can do something else to create money for you. And I'll talk about that in a little while. And then the next thing is actually invest. So as you are earning your salary, what are you putting it into to actually double up on it? When it comes to upskilling, right, there's almost a limit to how you can control your getting promoted or getting a pay raise at work, right? But what you can do is you can find something you can sell. So I'll tell everybody, find what thing that you can do, right? And so for put it in context, I know the finance part, I know the investment part, I understand that part, but I don't know video editing. I have to learn. I don't know about social media and how to sell on social media, how to do retail sales, or how to do digital marketing. You can take a course on it because you might know the basics, you might know the core, but there are other skills that you need to be able to sell that core. So you course on digital marketing, you do a course on converting your knowledge to money. Those kind of courses, they would help you. But and by the time you have those skills, you would still run your 9 to 5, but you've created another stream of income, right? And that's almost like taking charge of your life and your own story. Not saying, okay, I did quite well at work this year, but I should get a promotion and it didn't come. So blah 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 blah. That's not within your control. Something else could happen that will make that promotion not come that had nothing to do with your performance, right? So I sort of like bring my life under my own control. I don't know if you get what I mean. And the major thing is upskilling. It's very, very important. Now, when it comes to investing, the two things I would say is education and baby steps. If you've not been investing before, if you've not had any exposure to financial markets, right? So don't just wake up and throw all your money in because somebody said this stock is good or somebody said, oh, this is good and all that. You need to actually understand these things for yourself. All those things, my strategy for my upskilling, my strategy for the business I decide I want to do or whatever I want to push forward. If it's I want to have 10 coaching clients in a year, or I want to do a webinar or whatever it is I decide I want to do. Allot 30 minutes every day to work on that thing. That is where the difference is made. You can have all those plans, but if you don't break it down into actionable items, what do I need to do about this? What do I need to do with upskilling? Take a course. After the course, so what's my plan? Take a course, it'll be a 3-month course. After the 3-month course, from that course, I'll have next actionable steps. But I'm on the journey. I block out time slots during the day to actually achieve these things. And one book I would totally recommend that has totally helped my life is The Atomic Habits, and I'll drop a link in the description. What the book basically does is it explains that achieving a goal is not just about achieving that end goal. It's about the process of getting there. It's about the changes and the adjustments in your life that you need to make to get to that goal, and how you break down that massive thing into tiny everyday steps. Now, the truth about it is that if you are struggling with any of this in terms of how to increase your assets or how to reduce your liabilities, it means that you have a very high chance of waking up in a year's time and finding that you are still at the same spot because you have not intentionally done anything to create your own future. So if you are not able to draw that line, then you need to reach out. You need to reach out to someone. You need to have a conversation with someone. You need to ask questions. You need to start thinking. So have that and leave the things that are blank, that you haven't figured out the answer to, and leave them blank and start looking for the answers. Because you have to take control of your life. That's really the point I'm trying to make here. As a recap, what I basically do in creating my goals for the year is that I do a recap of where I am currently, a snapshot of my actual financial position. Then I now set a logical yet audacious goal of where I want to be in a year's time. Then after I've done that, the next step is that I actually set goals for what I need to do daily to achieve it. So I break it down into actionable steps that are within my reach, right? And my target is that if I keep at these things diligently, I'm going to get to these goals. And that's how we roll. So I want to believe that this was quite useful. If you have any questions or if you have any struggles around it, like I said, we could have a 15 minutes call, a free call with me. I'll put the link in the description box. If you're trying to sort out your finances and you're not sure how to put everything together, we could have that call, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button, and I will see you next week. Bye.